channel. Welcome to what's called Middle Bogs or Centre Bogs on Blyth Beach, southeast Northumberland. It's been, I can't remember the last time I fished here, several years. I used to fish it quite a lot actually, but it's been quite a while since I fished it, so we've got a really crisp, quite snowy, very cold, still day. There's barely any sea on, there's maybe 1.5 feet. It's very small tide. I think tomorrow's the smallest tide of the cycle. I always seem to be out fishing over small tides recently. Don't know what it is, just it's the way it's happened. So, break from the norm. I thought, right, instead of going out midweek, waiting for the sea to come away, filming in the dark, I thought I'm going to get out on the beach and just enjoy the peace and tranquility and just do a little bit of scratching around. Got my old faithful Flatty Fanatic Aero Technium, and I'm just flicking a 2-hook rig no more than probably 50-60 yards just into some of the little holes and features that are along this beach, hoping I can pick out maybe a flatty or two, and possibly as it gets dark maybe a whiting. I say welcome back to the channel, which is a little bit presumptuous really, because it assumes that you've been here before. If you have been here before, thanks very much for your support. Really appreciate it. Hope you're enjoying the videos. Something slightly different from the past half a dozen videos or so that we've done. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoy what you see. If you've got any comments, queries, questions, please leave them in the comments bit on the channel and on the videos, and we'll get back to you. A couple of observations that I've made this week, not really anything to do with fishing. The first one, have you ever, when you're stuck in traffic, noticed how much other people in other cars talk to themselves? I find it quite amusing, I've got to admit. And the second is more of a question, which is, how long has Bart Simpson been like basically a bloke? I saw The Simpsons today, not that I ever watched The Simpsons anymore, obviously. He looks like he's about 18. Couldn't believe it. It's kind of like, feels like my childhood's been slightly altered, strangely. Right, so rigs today are 2-hook variety, of the 2-hook variety I should say. I'm going for loop rigs. I'm just using small 1/0s, oh dear me, and I'm just using a 3-ounce breakaway flat lead bait. Check out these bad boys. There's some absolutely huge rag from A&D Tackle. I'm just gonna have a bit of a scratching session today. Superb rag that Andy and Dawn at A&D and Wallsend have provided here. Look at those. God, they're like snakes. It's been a while since I've used rag like that. So let's get that clipped up, get it out there. Into that Cascade, into the Imp. SRT takes the pressure. Now we go, let's get it out there. Right, I've got a nice hole in front of us here, so as this tide floods, I'm hoping it'll fill up, bring something in, but at the minute I'm just going to chuck it beyond the breakers, see if there's anything behind it. Came down just to have a bit of a scratching session really, and that's exactly what we're doing. We've got about, I'd say roughly an hour max until darkness, and so I'm hoping we might actually get a whiting or two as well, because I do like eating whiting, and there have been plenty around and some big ones at that. Got a lovely little hole just to my left. So yeah, enjoying it. It's a really nice day. Just fishing with my light gear, my old faithful 11-foot Flatty Fanatic and my trusty Aero Technium. Just really pleasant, pleasurable session. I can't explain how nice the weather is. It's obviously cold, literally freezing, but there's not a breath of wind. It's just really nice. I'm standing here with a lot of layers on. There's snow on the beach. Fair play if they managed to swim in that, but I feel like I might have had a couple of bites on this first cast, but there's a little bit of weight on this. There is a lot of weight to me left actually, which I thought I was going to start getting dragged into, but don't appear to have. So as a result, there's a tiny bit of weight on this, but I can't see something white out there. Yeah, first cast, first fish. So we have saved the blank. Marvellous. And it's taken both baits. I think it's managed to take 4 hooks. First cast, first fish, little flounder. First one I've caught in a while, and it's managed to take 4 of the hooks, so hopefully get it unhooked and get it back. Right, so what I'm going to do, that first cast seemed to pull us around to the left into that hole, which wasn't a bad thing, but I think a bit of movement can be quite helpful, so I'm just going to go touch further to the right this time where there's a bit of surf, and I'll just see if the same thing happens if it just pulls us around into that hole. There is a bit of weed on the beach to my left, and I was initially worried that that little area would be full of weed, but it wasn't at all. I didn't get one bit of weed there, so that's the result. So as it gets dark, you never know, we might get a bonus whiting or two, which would be good fun on this light gear. Tell you what, it's an absolutely fantastic evening now. A breath of wind, not many people about. Right, second bait's been in probably about half an hour or so, oh, no, I did get, although no, maybe we have got a fish, I think we have. Yep, another flatty. So, fish number 2, fortunately it's taken the hooks a bit further down, but nice flounder, hopefully we can get them unhooked and get them back. Well, that's 2 casts, 2 fish, 2 winter flounders. Thought I was getting a bite there. 3:20 now, low water was about 1:30, 1 o'clock-ish. So we're approaching kind of mid-flood. Very small tides today. It's probably only about a 2 metre, which is fine because I didn't really want much hassle in terms of moving around. Obviously it doesn't help the fishing, but I've had a couple of fish already. We've saved the blank. So it's been pretty enjoyable. Probably going to give it another maybe 2 hours. I'd like to fish a good hour into darkness just in case any whiting do move in. And then we've got a little, very, very small bump. I'd say probably foot and a half. There's a tiny bit of colour in the water, but it's perfect really. As you saw before, I'm just using a 3-ounce flat breakaway lead. So if there is any movement, it's allowing us just to shift about a little bit, so it's fine. What we've got is, what you have on this beach, anybody that fishes it regularly will know it intimately. The good thing about Blyth is because I think it's probably about 3 miles long in total, you get a good movement of tide. There isn't anything breaking it up. The nearest headlines are Blyth up the north end, and then Sluice, Rocky Island down the south end, so you can get a good flow of water. And when you've got these little undulations in the sand, these different sandbars and holes, it obviously bottlenecks the water and creates a little bit more current in certain places, which obviously pushes the food in. And then the theory being that's where it attracts the fish. It's better, you know, I'm not going to lie, this beach fish is better when there's more of a sea on, but as you can see, I'm fishing for the conditions, if you like. I'm using my lightest gear, so I'm hoping I can just get a little bit of sport off a whiting or whatever. Might get it the odd coley. I've even at this time of year when it's cold, you do get the odd bass using lugworm. So you never know. I'm not expecting anything like that tonight. Maybe a white and probably a few more flatties in all honesty, but it's just nice to be back. I'll get home for 6, half 6, and then put my feet up, get the fire on. Job's a good one. Thought I might have had a bite there, but because the tide's coming in quite quickly, I'm just putting my gear back because I'm only using an 11-foot rod. My braid's more or less down where the waves are breaking, so it's just kind of breaking onto the rod tip a bit. But it is 4 o'clock. Be dark probably within about half an hour, and I'm hoping if I can stick it out for another hour or so, I'd really like to get a whiting. It's been years and years since I've caught a whiting off this beach, and I wouldn't mind getting one on that light rod, a little bit of sport, and I might even take 1 or 2 home because I've got quite a lot of cod in the freezer, which I love eating, but I do like whiting as well. I think they're probably quite an underrated fish actually, so fingers crossed. So as you can see, pretty much dark now. I'm going to have 2 or 3 casts into darkness and hopefully pull out a whiting. The tide's pushing quite quickly, even though it's a small tide. I mean, obviously we're on a pretty flat beach, but I have had to move back 4 or 5 times in quick succession within the last hour, so there's obviously a bit of tide out there, which is good. So hopefully that little bit of movement, darkness falling, might just push a couple of fish in. Pal came down, sitting having a bit of crack before, I hadn't seen him for a while. Then he gave us these, the Heat Company, like thermal things. You literally just open them out the plastic, and I can tell you that is a godsend on nights like this, because now the sun's gone down, even though there's no wind, it's notably colder. The air and everything on your skin's just really, really cold. So, that looks like biting me, doesn't it? No, thought I had a knock, but nothing. Let's get some fresh baits out. well, what I've done, here I was getting pulled to the left every cast straight away. So I've upped my sinker to a 4-ounce watch lead, which you might have seen on previous videos is absolutely ideal for clean beaches like this when you're using a light rod and you've got a little bit of surf running. The extra weight obviously just gives you the extra weight, but the little sort of ridges in the sinker and the shape of it just mean it can sit and lie flat on the seabed and hopefully avoid getting dragged. And what I'm doing as well, because I'm using braid not mono and the only stretch in the system is in the rod tip, I'm just intentionally leaving a little bit of slack. So if you wind straight directly a sinker when there's any sort of tide, especially when I'm not using a gripper, it'll just pull it. So I'm intentionally leaving a little bit of bow just to give it that little bit of flex in the system onto the rod tip. I think because of the temperature, I am getting a bit cold and I have been a little bit unwell during the week, so I certainly don't want to push me luck, so this might be my last cat. We'll see how it goes. Don't know if I've picked up a bit of weed and pulled it back or what. That's the culprit. Bit of weeds just in the surf and it's pulled us to the left. The problem now is there is a lot of weed built up on this beach still from the storms we had a few weeks ago, and the water line's now right up to where the weed is, so there's going to be a lot of weed in the water, so it might make life a bit tricky. But that bait's only been in a few minutes. I'm just going to blast it back out, and to be honest, if I don't get anything this cast, I'm probably going to split, because I don't know if you can see that there's actually frost and ice building up on the rod. That's how cold it is, and it's got to be quite cold to do that at the coast, because it's always usually a few degrees warmer in winter because of the sea. So I'm going to get this out and see what happens. But even if we don't get anything, I've really enjoyed being out this afternoon. It's been a really nice afternoon. Well, yet again, struck by GoPro problems. At least I think it was GoPro problems. It might just be that I forgot to press record at the crucial moment, but never mind. Hopefully you enjoyed that session. Great to get back out on Blyth Beach, especially in those nice wintry conditions. Really enjoyed it. Very sort of relaxing afternoon, something a little bit different, doing a bit of scratching. So hopefully everybody's out and about this weekend, getting amongst a few fish. But until the next one, tight lines, keep fishing. We'll see you soon.